This video is Chapter 9, Question 1, and we will be looking at different forms of inventory estimation. Matrix Incorporated uses the retail method to estimate inventory and cost of goods sold at the end of July. The controller gathers the following information. We'll be using this for the three problems we'll be doing in this question. And we're required to estimate the cost of ending inventory and cost of goods sold using the following applications, assuming stable retail prices during the period. So we'll be looking at the average cost method, conventional retail method or LCM method, and the LIFO retail method. So let's go ahead and start with the average cost method. So what we'll be doing in these problems is filling out the retail column and then creating a ratio from that to figure out what the ending inventory and cost of goods sold are for the cost column. So we have our cost, for example, beginning inventory here, and then this is our retail price of beginning inventory. Same thing for net purchases, and then under retail you're going to have markups, markdowns, and our net sales as well. So these are all going to be put into this table here to help us solve for the ending inventory and cost of goods sold under cost. So looking at our table here, we can go ahead and figure out what our goods available for sale are for cost and retail based off the numbers we've been given up in this table above. So with our beginning inventory and net purchases, that takes us to a total of $560,000. That will be goods available for sale under cost. So we'll plug that in, $560,000. Let's jump over to the retail column here, figure out what goods available for sale under the retail price are. So we add our beginning inventory and net purchases plus our net markups. We subtract our net markdowns, and that's going to give us our goods available for sale under retail price, and that's going to be $958,000. So under the average cost method, what we do to solve for ending inventory is we take the ratio of cost of goods available for sale divided by retail goods available for sale. So let's go ahead and find that percentage. So it's going to be this 560,000 divided by 958,000. We plug that in, and we get 58.45%. as our ratio. So to continue down our column here, we know our goods available for sale are 958,000. We know our net sales are 700,000. So let's plug that in. 700,000. We subtract that from our goods available for sale, and that gives us our ending inventory, which is $258,000. So now we come to where we want to figure out the ending inventory for cost, and then we'll solve for cost of goods sold as well. To get the ending inventory under cost, we take the $258,000 that we have at the retail price and multiply it by our ratio. So we multiply by 58.45%, and that's going to give us our ending inventory estimation for cost to be $150,801. So we have our ending inventory for cost. Now we just need to figure out what cost of goods sold are. So cost of goods sold, we can look at what our goods available for sale were, 560,000. So that's everything we had in inventory. Our ending inventory is now 150,801. So if we subtract our goods available for sale minus what our ending inventory is, that will tell us how much we sold, or our cost of goods sold. Let's go ahead and do that formula. So cost of goods sold equals our goods available for sale, 560,000. Subtract our ending inventory, 150,801. And that's going to give us cost of goods sold to be $409,199 under the average cost method. Now we move to the conventional retail method. Under this one, the only difference we're going to see is in our ratio. For the conventional retail method, markdowns are excluded from retail goods available for sale. So we'll see a slight difference in our ratio, which will affect ending inventory and cost of goods sold when we get to that part of the problem. So first, let's go ahead and do some of the calculations here. So we have, for retail, beginning inventory plus purchases plus net markups is going to give us our denominator here. So that total is going to be $994,000. Remember, that's excluding the net markdowns that we have here. So if we subtract our net markdowns, we get goods available for sale under retail to be the $958,000, just like we had in the previous slide. Let's jump over to the cost side. So again, with costs, we have no markups or markdowns. So we go straight to goods available for sale. It's going to be the same as our previous problem, $560,000. And that's going to be our numerator. So let's go ahead and plug those in. We have $560,000 on top. We divide by the $994,000 this time, again because it excludes markdowns. And that's going to give us our percentage of 56.33%. So going back over to our retail column, let's subtract our net sales again, $700,000. And that's going to give us our estimated ending inventory, $258,000. Again, just like the previous slide. So the only difference is we're multiplying by a different ratio. It's going to be that 56.33% we just calculated. And that's going to give us our estimated ending inventory for cost to be $145,331. So now we just need to find what cost of goods sold is under the conventional retail method. So I'll do that down here at the bottom. Again, all we have to do is take our goods available for sale, subtract that from our ending inventory, and that will give us what our estimated cost of goods sold is. So it's going to be that $560,000. We subtract $145,331, our estimated ending inventory, and that's going to give us our cost of goods sold to be $414,669, and that's for the conventional retail method. And last, we're going to do the LIFO retail method. So the big difference under this is we're going to have a purchase layer, just like we use, for example, in the dollar value LIFO method. And also we will have two ratios that we're going to use to help us calculate ending inventory. So let's go ahead and start solving the problem. So first we need to find the purchase layer. Let's do it for cost. The purchase layer will only include our current net purchases for the month. We won't use beginning inventory. So that's, for example, beginning inventory might be like our base year, and then this is our year one, to think back to our dollar value LIFO method problems. So the purchase layer is only going to be $420,000. So we'll plug that in. For retail, you do also include your net markups and markdowns in the calculation of the purchase layer. So with these three together, you're going to get $678,000. Okay, let's go ahead and start solving our ratios. The first one we have is beginning inventory cost to retail percentage. That's simply taking your cost beginning inventory, dividing it by your retail beginning inventory. So that's $140,000 divided by $280,000, and that's going to give you 50%. For the cost to retail percentage, you use your purchase layers. So that's going to be the $420,000 divided by the $678,000. We plug those in. And for the cost to retail percentage, we're going to get 61.95%. So let's continue on our retail column. Like we've been doing, we need to deduct our net sales. There's $700,000. And that's going to show us what our ending inventory at retail is. And that's going to be $22,000. We got that from subtracting our purchase layer, $678,000 minus our net sales. So what that is telling us is we sold all the inventory from our purchase layer, and the negative $22,000 means we also sold $22,000 worth from our beginning inventory. So if you take $280,000 minus $22,000, that gives us our beginning inventory of $258,000. So to find beginning inventory for cost, this is where the percentage comes into play, the 50%. So you take 258,000 and multiply by 50%. It gives you a beginning inventory for cost of 129,000. We sold all the current periods layer, so it's 0. So normally if it was some sort of positive number, you would multiply by the percentage. We'll still do it here just to show you the example. So it's going to be 0 for cost as well. So that means our total is 129,000 for ending inventory for cost. So we found that. Now let's find cost of goods sold. For cost of goods sold, we need to take our beginning inventories, 140,000, and include our net purchases, 420,000. That's 560,000. We subtract that from our ending inventory that we just found, 129,000. That's going to give us a cost of goods sold of 431,000 under the LIFO retail method.